YN has lived with the constant embarrassment of losing her V card when she was only 14 years old. Everyone knows, and not just the whole school, even her parents. It was finally morning, and I was getting ready for school. I couldn't get over my dream. It's been almost 2 years, and I still remember that one night that changed my life. What happened that night? I lost my V card when I was 14 to Jungkook. He was the most popular guy. I was drunk. He took advantage of me and he moved. I don't know if it was because of me or if it was another reason, but I haven't seen him since. After that incident, people called me easy. I was grounded for 3 months and I have been labeled. I have learned to live, but I hate it when every guy offers me money for one night only. I went downstairs and saw my parents sitting around the table. Morning father, morning mother, morning darling, want some toast? How did you sleep last night? My father asked, not taking his eyes off the paper. I looked at the floor and it became quiet. It was always tense ever since that day. My mother has forgiven me, but my dad thinks I'm a bad girl and will continue to think so. I hurried out the door, not wanting to be in the presence of my father any longer. As soon as I entered the school, I heard whispers and rumors swirling around me. I tried to block the words out as I rushed to the small isolated corner where me and my only true friend sit. My only true friend is Amber. She understood what happened to me. I smiled at her and sat down. What's up, girl? My mother got a new job and my brother is moving out. Well, I'm glad your days have been good. Amber gave me a sympathetic look and the bell rang. I sat in class when the intercom crackled on and all mouths shut, listening. Send Miss Wyan to the office, please. I rushed out and went to the office. Your mother is here to pick you up. I nodded and walked outside. I went out and a sense of relief washed over me that I didn't have to enter the classroom again. But horror struck me as I saw him leaning against my mother's car. And by him, I mean Jungkook. Ryan's point of view. We stared at each other for a few brief moments. I couldn't help it as my eyes swept over his luxurious body. He had the same sandy blonde hair and sea blue eyes, but I could tell his muscles were much bigger from underneath his loose shirt. Jungkook? Yes, baby, it's me. My mother came out of the car smiling. But even if someone dragged me, I didn't want to get anywhere near him. He left me a few nights after. He never liked me. I was just his toy, and I didn't want to be just a toy. I took a few steps and got into the car. He got into the back seat. Mom, why is he here? I will explain everything in the house. Curiosity burst inside of me. Perhaps he wants to know if I had a child. Soon we reached home. My father had a stern but somehow understanding look on his face, and he told me to sit. My mom and Jungkook entered. It was as if I'm going to sign my soul to the devil. Honey, you remember the whole commotion with Jungkook? Yeah, of course. Well, we found it best, and so did Jungkook and his parents, that you should marry Jungkook. My jaw dropped. Seriously? I thought maybe sometime this whole thing with him would settle down. I mean, it's been a whole 2 years, and I seriously want to forget. But now, the whole thing will open again. What? This time my father spoke. You will be moving to California and live with Jungkook. What the hell? When am I moving? I asked, finally able to say something. In a day, please go back, a young woman said, walking in. I recognized her. Jungkook's mom. She had the same blonde hair, but she had big brown eyes that seemed to gleam in excitement. Now, his father was way different. He had dark brown hair and icy blue eyes, similar to Jungkook's. "Oh, you wonderful girl," she said, hugging me tightly. "Now, you may not remember me, but I'm Suho, Jungkook's mother." "Juhan, my husband is in the limo." "Limo? I didn't know he was that rich." I went upstairs and began to pack. I tucked everything in just 2 hours. I was exhausted. Tomorrow, I would live in California with Jungkook. Interesting. Jungkook's point of view. I watched Ryan as she climbed the stairs. Damn, I remembered that night. It made me excited just thinking about it. I sighed and said a quick goodbye to Ryan's parents and walked out and climbed into the limo. I washed my parents' hands intertwined and they lightly kissed. I leaned back. I hope me and Ryan will be like that. But I doubt it. Only the night after I did it with Ryan, I left with my parents. We moved to California on command of my dad's boss. I felt bad, but I couldn't prevent it, so I just said a goodbye and I was gone forever. Apparently, a few weeks ago, Ryan's parents sent an email. It was regarding Ryan's current issue. It said that I should be married to Ryan since I did it with her. I put my phone back in my pocket and thought about Ryan. So innocent and sweet, and suddenly her life turned into hell because of me. I felt really bad. I have heard from a few people that her life became hell afterwards, and it's all my fault. Ryan's point of view. It was already morning and my alarm clock beeped. I opened my eyes staring at my suitcases. I smiled. I was leaving here and my past for good. I looked at my brother Max, who had tears rolling down his plump cheeks. "I love you, Max. Will you visit?" "Of course, sweetie. Take care of mommy and daddy, okay?" Max nodded and I kissed his forehead and waved and said goodbye till the door closed. The limo door opened. Panic rose in me as the limo left, leaving me along with Jungkook in a beautiful mansion. "Well, would you like to see the house?" Jungkook asked and I nodded slowly. Jungkook took my hand and dragged me up the stone steps and inside. It was posh yet modern in some way. He helped me through the whole house, finally ending at our room. I took a look and smiled. I flopped onto the bed and sighed in satisfaction. "This is awesome, isn't it?" Jungkook asked in a slow, seductive voice. Jungkook slowly crawled across the sheets towards me, and I blushed, moving backwards. His lips traced along my neck. "Jungkook, stop! I will be in my office if you need me." Jungkook mumbled and walked out. I could tell he was mad, but what was I supposed to do? Do him in the second we get here? I'm not that easy anymore, Jungkook, and I can prove it. Jungkook's point of view. I felt like an idiot as I stormed into my office. I threw my paperwork everywhere and sighed in frustration. Damn! Why couldn't she be the girl that fell into my arms for a night? I have committed to her for these 2 years, which means I didn't have. And now here she is, and she's denying me. I looked at my computer and sighed as the message was urgent. It was from my boss, but it doesn't bother me because I work at home from now onwards. There was a light knock at the door, and I turned around and saw Wyan standing at the door. She looked so innocent and cute as she played with her hair nervously. May I come in? Sure. Wyan walked in, looking around everywhere, not to mention my messy office. She sat on the desk next to me, her long tan legs the only view to my eyes. Yes, I asked her, turning to my computer. Well, I was going to say sorry. I probably made you feel like an idiot. And also possibly if we could go out or something tonight. Can't work. She put her hand on my shoulder and leaned against me, looking at my computer screen. I turned around and looked at her. Her brown eyes almost looking into my soul. My horrible, horrible soul. Wyan's point of view. The world stopped as Jungkook turned around, gazing into my eyes. I had to kiss him. I wouldn't do it with him, but I could at least kiss him. And I leaned down, his soft lips upon mine, just as good as the first and last time I had kissed him. Jungkook's hand went straight for my curves as his fingers tickled up and down my body. I shivered in delight, and we broke apart, our breaths unsteady as we stared at each other a little longer. Well, I will leave you be, I whispered and rushed out. Then I explored the house, eventually ending up in a cute room that had a laptop. I got on the computer and checked my email. It was from my mom and Amber. I responded to the email and sighed. It was already bedtime, and I had to share a bed with a guy that I can barely resist, and I'm still trying to resist him. I went upstairs and changed into my cute PJs. I climbed into bed at the moment Jungkook entered in just boxers. My eyes widened and my mouth dropped. His skin was slick and wet, his hair fluffed up like he had taken a shower. He looked at me and smiled. He then removed the towel from his shoulders, and I gaped more at his toned and gorgeous muscles. Jungkook climbed into the bed next to me and flicked off the light. I settled a few feet from him, and my eyes adjusted to the dark. I watched him as he slept. He looked peaceful and I smiled. The next morning, I opened my eyes, and Jungkook wasn't there. I was all alone. I got up and brushed my hair and teeth before walking around the house looking for Jungkook. But he wasn't anywhere. I went to the kitchen and saw a young girl waiting. I looked at her and she bowed respectfully. Hello, Miss Wyan. You can call me just Wyan. What would you like for breakfast, Wyan? Nothing really. Where is Jungkook? Mr. Jungkook is at a meeting, ma'am. I thanked her quickly before walking aimlessly around the house. I decided I should check out the backyard. I opened the glass sliding doors and walked out into the warm summer day. I heard chopping on side of the house, and curious as I am, I went to check it out. I was amazed at the size of biceps the guy had. He was chopping some branches that had overgrown. He noticed me and smiled. Ah, you must be Miss Wyan, Jungkook's new fiancée. That's me, unfortunately. Haha, why unfortunate? Most girls die to have a kiss on their cheeks from him. I could tell he was Spanish by the look of his skin and his dark hair and eyes. Well, would the beautiful young lady like to help? I laughed and nodded, grabbing a pair of huge scissors and began chopping the branches down. Jungkook's point of view. I was in a meeting and I couldn't stop thinking about Wyan. Have a nice nap, Jungkook? Larry asked with a sarcastic niceness. Yes, thank you. Larry grinned like a maniac and continued to talk. And then the door burst open. A tall blonde with smooth tan skin and striking blue eyes. She was slim and had expensive looking clothes on, and I recognized her the second she walked through the doors. Katie. She was my ex-girlfriend. She has been out of my life before I did it with YN. Katie smiled at Larry and sat down. Larry's eyes opened wide. Ah, I see our newest member is here. Miss Katie, am I correct? Oh, yes. Ha, I'm sorry. I'm late, just there was a lot of traffic and... No need to explain yourself, my dear. Larry's slimy voice said and she smiled gratefully. Katie turned to look around the room and suddenly her eyes landed upon me. She sat there staring at me for a few seconds before her face turned into pure delight. She got up and walked towards me. I know you. You are Jungkook, aren't you? Oh, I remember. We had some good times. I could feel myself go red as everyone awed. She smiled and sat down, her hand reaching for mine. Please tell me everything I have missed. I want to know everything. Then Katie smiled widely, showing off her bright teeth, and dragged me out of the door. She hailed a taxi and directed me to the park. Please tell me what I have missed. Nothing much really. I destroyed a girl's life and now I'm marrying her. Katie looked at the ground. Oh, I was kinda hoping we could, get back together. I looked at her like she was insane. Katie, you dumped me. How could I ever take back the first girl who dumped me? Well, I at least would like to be your friend. Okay. Well, do you want to meet my fiancé? Katie smiled again, the beauty in her face reviving. She stood next to me, the space between us scarce but there. But somehow, I felt comfortable with it, even though she's my ex-girlfriend. YN's point of view. So what's your name? I asked him. Him was a gardener. He told me that his father gave him this job. He was very cute, tan and muscular. But best of all, he was really nice. Roberto, but please call me Rob or Erto. He joked. I laughed. Okay, Erto. After a few minutes of chopping the branches, we were not able to breathe. So I sat on the grass. Roberto did it too, and we both stared at each other. Suddenly, we both heard the gate open, and we both looked over, seeing Jungkook come in with a girl. Instantly, jealousy bubbled in my veins. She was skinny, tall, blonde, tan, and best of all, she had a beautiful smile. Hey guys, this is Katie. Hi everyone. Hello. Jungkook looked over at Rob and glared at him. Rob, shouldn't you be gardening and not flirting with my fiancé? Well, shouldn't you be with me instead of some random girl you probably picked up at the bar? Stay out of this, YN. How about you just go with this girl and do it with her, so that I can enjoy being with my friend Bob? His temper flared at my words, and Katie's eyes grew wider. Rob was also growing uncomfortable, and suddenly Jungkook smirked. Okay, he said and grabbed Katie. Their lips connected passionately, and I could feel my heart break into millions of tiny pieces. His hands ran up and down her curves like they once had mine. Before I could burst into tears, Rob took me away from them and we entered the forest. I was sobbing in Rob's shoulder now, and he was whispering words into my ear. We stopped at a small bench and he pulled me into his lap, cradling me like a baby. Thanks, Rob. No problem. He was being a jerk. Yeah, sorry you had to go through that. It's fine. It's worth it for you. What am I going to do living with him? I asked. Just grin and bear it. That's what my father always told me. I laughed and wiped the tears off my cheeks. I sighed in relief and he bid me goodbye before walking out the gate. I went to the living room and settled on the leather couch and closed my eyes and fell asleep. Jungkook's point of view. It was already midnight and YN wasn't back. Now I was worried and I just walked around the house. I found her on the leather couch, curled up and shivering. I felt bad and draped a blanket over her body and went back upstairs. I got into the bed and sighed. Why was I being so bad to her? Why the hell am I such a jerk? I played with two girls' heart, but I was more concerned about YN. I punched the wall. I wish I could erase what I have done, but all I could do was apologize, and that's hard for me to do. YN's point of view. I woke at the sound of whispering. I sat up and blinked a few times, recognizing one of the lady maids. At this moment, I realized there was a blanket across me. I got a blanket? I don't remember that. Oh, Jungkook. I heard a girl calling. The hurt came back to my heart at this. I felt like crying and breaking down all over again. Except this time, there was no one to comfort me. I drew closer and closer to the sound as I headed to our bedroom. I opened the door and peeked inside. There was Jungkook with another girl. I bit my lip to keep from crying and I closed the door. I heard a slap noise and the door opened abruptly. Wait, YN, why are you leaving? Jungkook asked as the girl stormed out. I can't believe you would call me YN or something. She screamed angrily and began to pull on her clothes. I was surprised at this and watched them as he struggled to hug her. Frankly, I was pretty amused. But what caught my attention was what he said. He called my name. I blushed. I gathered myself and decided to go out. It was very quiet for the longest time till I heard the back door slide open. I felt Jungkook's arms snaked around me, his cool breath against my neck. I shivered at his touch, but pulled away. He lost a girl whom he was trying to do. I was a reborn girl to him, but I wouldn't be that girl. It's either me or not me at all. Baby? Jungkook, don't you baby me. I heard, not to mention, so, what you're trying to do with that girl. But she's lucky. She can escape this living hell. True sympathy was in his eyes as he backed away. I'm sorry you feel that way. And I'm sorry. I know I'm a jerk, but it's a guy's nature. Well, I don't want to be engaged to this kind of guy. Jungkook chuckled and sat down next to me. I'm giving you an apology, YN. Take it or leave it, but you will never hear those two words again. Then Jungkook got up and left me. I was truly stunned. He just apologized and then left me like always. What am I going to do living with him? I guess I will learn some good surviving skills. Jungkook's point of view. I smirked and I entered the cold house. Sure, it was a kind of rude apology, but she's lucky she got it. Now, hopefully she will forgive me. I don't know why I wanted to do it with other girls. Probably because I'm lacking since YN doesn't want me anymore. Sir, do you want anything? I looked up and saw one of the lady maids. My spirit instantly perked up. Tall, blonde, tan. Yes, I would love something. And that would be you. Wayan's point of view. It was already 3:30 p.m. I had been passing the time reading, checking emails, and watching Rob work. He was really nice, but not like a boyfriend material, more like a best friend. So, do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I do actually. Her name is Maria. We were good friends when we were little, and well, we just clicked. Oh, that's so sweet. You would love her. In fact, I will invite her over sometime. I would love to meet her. Rob smiled. We now shared everything together. And now, he's probably my new best friend. That reminded me of Amber. Hey Rob, see you later. I need to check my email right now. Goodbye, Wayan. Rob said and waved. I went upstairs to my laptop and checked my email. One new message from Amber right now. I told Amber that Jungkook was a jerk and he was always with other girls and I just hated him. Then I closed my laptop and heard the door open. I jumped at the sudden noise and went to the hallway. I saw Jungkook with one of my lady maids in his arms as they laughed and danced together. I can tell they are drunk. I sighed and went back into my room. I can't deal with this hurt anymore. I'm officially not talking to him ever. Jungkook's point of view. I woke up. Ingrid, the maid, was no longer in my arms. But what really made my day was being able to see Wayan and to apologize again. I can't help it if I am doing with other girls. I have needs. I walked down the stairs and went to the bedroom. I saw Wayan sleeping soundlessly in the sheets. I crawled in the blanket. Morning, gorgeous, I whispered. Wayan scoffed and turned around. What the hell? I tapped on her shoulder, but she just ignored me. I shook her a little and she got up and walked into the bathroom. What was that about? I got up and walked inside, seeing her climbing into the bathtub with a towel. I watched in amusement as she curled up and began sleeping. Are you planning to sleep there? Wayan turned around again and I just rolled my eyes and went back to bed. I'm sorry, I called out before closing the door. Wayan's point of view. I'm sorry, I heard before the door closed. I felt like crying like there was no tomorrow as I lay in the bathtub. I couldn't sleep, so I got up and snuck out of the room and went downstairs and checked my Facebook. I looked up Jeon Jungkook and looked at his siblings. Jeon Suho? I have never heard of him. I clicked on his name and scrolled through the pictures and info. Suho looked a lot like Jungkook, but somehow hotter. I blushed and sent him a friend request. Well, I wanted to know more about Suho, so I decided to ask one of the maids. I rang the little bell and Ingrid came. Ingrid looked scared. Her blonde hair was messy. I recognized her somehow. Oh my god, that's the girl who did it with Jungkook last night. I fumed, my anger boiling over. Hello Ingrid, I said through clenched teeth. Hello? So last night, you and Jungkook, huh? I have never pictured him with a fired Swedish maid. Ingrid cried and ran down the hall, hopefully to go pack her things. I was still angry, but I tried to remember what I originally came for. I rang the bell one more time and Marigold came. Hello Miss Wayan, what should I do for you? Well, I would appreciate if you tell me more about Jungkook's brother, Suho. Oh well, Suho is... Marigold hesitated to talk to me, and she led me to the couch and took a deep breath, staring at her lamp. Okay, well, his little brother Suho and him don't get along. He says Suho is a stupid and Suho says Jungkook is a jerk. So when Jungkook got a job, he moved into this mansion and Suho moved away. Suho now lives somewhere in the country, but I don't know much because of the non-talking about him. I met him once though. He is very kind. Thanks, Marigold. Suho's point of view. I shivered in the brisk winter air of Chicago. Suddenly, I noticed a friend request from YN. I looked at her profile page. She seemed somewhat familiar, so I decided to send her a message. Hey, you sent me a friend request and out of question, who are you? Thanks. Hey, I'm YN, the girl whose life was ruined because of your brother. Remember me? Haha. And now I'm engaged to him. Whoa, YN. Oh my god, what the hell? I know, right? I just got the news like a week ago. Right now, I live in California with your stupid brother. Well, YN, what's your number? I got YN's number and put it in my phone. God, I didn't know I would have a sister-in-law this soon. God, that sucks for YN. I now remember her. I remember when he ruined her life. I really liked her actually. YN's point of view. I was glowing when Suho's first text was sent. Hey, so you and my bro, huh? I suppose I hate him. Yeah, I know how you feel. What did he do to you? Well, I suppose just being a jerk to all the girls and to me as well. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, what did he do to you? Well, I have caught him doing with 2 girls in 2 days so far. I refuse to talk to him. Well, that's sad for you. I wish you were here or something, just to talk to you. I could come, but just for you. I don't want to see that stupid again. Well, that would be sweet. I will book right now. I could be in town by tomorrow. Seriously? And for me? Sure. I remember you and you were special. Well, thanks, Suho. Blushing. Winks. I giggled to myself and jumped at the sound of Jungkook's voice. What are you laughing about? Suho. I stopped suddenly and turned away. Are you seriously trying to not to speak to me? I nodded and turned back to my phone. I turned around. I screamed as ocean blue eyes engulfed me and his fingers began to trace my body, tickling me. I was screaming and laughing. I can't say stop. I can't. Stop! I yelled out and he stopped. I scolded him. I couldn't help but smile back. Okay, fine. I will talk, but only when necessary, and I still don't forgive you. For what? For sleeping with Ingrid, Katie, and some other girls. Jungkook went quiet. I'm sorry. Thank you. Now your little brother Suho. What? Let me finish. Suho is coming to town tomorrow. I think there might be love there. But I told you that I'm not forgiving you. Besides, obviously you have other girls to think about. Suho is on my mind. Jungkook gaped as I skipped off. I couldn't help but skip. Love was knocking on my door. Jungkook's point of view. I gaped at her. Suho was coming to town and she was interested in him. I was boiling with fury. How dare she contact him? Probably she dares because you do it with every girl under her nose. What? What was that? Me, you're conscious. Yeah, it probably seems I'm not here, but you just push me aside. Oh wait, what the hell? Hey buddy, you are starting to feel for YN, so it's my time to step in for once. But don't you butt me. I'm stepping in. This girl is special. You gonna let your little brother woo your girl? No! Exactly. But since you are super stupid, you will do it with every girl, then deal with it. But not this time, buddy. But Ryan denies me. Dude, you have did it with around 345 girls in an year. I think you will manage. Hey, you can't go around. Oh yes, I can, Jungkook. I control you to some extent. Huh? Don't get too hopeful. I still control you. Damn, I officially hate you. Goodbye. Fine, you can stalk off and be a stupid, but I will be back. Fine, whatever. I heard nothing more and I decided to eat something. I need something to take Ryan and my brother off my mind. Ryan's point of view. I hadn't slept the whole night. I was too excited to meet Suho. Okay, actually I have met him before, but I barely remember. I felt like a creeper as I stared at his Facebook pictures. He's so hot and he's totally intelligent. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, making me jump. My heart began to pump and I heard Marigold greet someone at the door. I fixed my hair in the hallway mirror and then went down the stairs. Suho's face immediately looked at me, our eyes meeting. Suho seemed like an angel and I wondered where he had been all this time. Hello, Suho. I was finally at the bottom, face to face with him. He had the same blonde hair as him. Hey, Ryan. I stared at him as he set his stuff on the ground and flipped his hair back like in the commercials. So, I murmured, but his hands pulled mine into an embrace. I blushed as I pulled away. Suddenly, there was a loud stomping as Jungkook stomped into the room. An angry look spread across his face. Hello, Suho. Hello, Jungkook. Hey, Suho. How about I show you your room? I didn't dare look at Jungkook, and some of the butlers grabbed his bags as I led him up to his room. I picked out a guest room, far away from Jungkook's room. It was all shades of blue with black and white. He looked pleased. The maids unpacked his clothes while we talked and caught up. Suho lived in Chicago. He was rich and currently single and is intelligent. God, he's so much more my type than that stupid Jungkook. Too bad I can't marry Suho instead. That made an idea form in my mind. What if I were to ask the parents? Perhaps they would consider. So, how have you been here? Terrible. The day I moved in, Jungkook tried to do it with me. And then the past few days, I can't get into my own room because he's always doing it with other girls. Oh, that sucks. So, I have been camping out on the couch. But I think I have found a new place to stay. We stared in each other's eyes for a few seconds. Then, Suho began to lean in. I did so too, my head turning slightly, and our lips barely met. Hey guys! We jumped apart, and we both glared at Jungkook. Jungkook smirked and leaned against the doorway, but I decided to ignore Jungkook and pulled Suho forward, our lips finally meeting. They were so soft, and they molded into mine perfectly. We fell back onto the bed, gasping for breath, but not wanting to break away. I could tell Jungkook was growing uncomfortable, but we kept on like he wasn't even there. Then we pulled away, seeing Jungkook finally gone, and we smiled at each other, our lips back together. Jungkook's point of view. I growled in frustration, making one of the lady maids jump in fright. I haven't been that much of a jerk, have I? And why is my stupid brother here? That's so weird. Ryan's point of view. I dialed the number slowly, Suho staring at me as I did so. The phone began to ring and I put the phone up to my ear. Hello? Yes, good morning, Mom. Ah, yes, dear. Oh, how lovely to hear from you, Ian. How are things? Not so well, Mom. And in fact, I would like to ask permission that I could marry Suho instead of Jungkook. There was complete silence on the other end of the phone. Could you meet us for lunch alone? I swallowed. Yes, Mom. Meet me in 20 minutes. Don't be late. The line ended, and I dropped the phone on the floor. Her tone was so cold, and I shivered at the thought. And Suho wrapped her arms around me, instantly comforting me. What did Mom say? To meet her alone for lunch. Great. I started to throw my best clothes on, quickly doing my makeup and tying my hair into a messy ponytail. I heard chuckling and I shot a look into Suho. What? You look beautiful no matter what. I blushed and gave him a quick kiss and headed out the door. I was kind of scared, to be honest. Sure, they are old, but they are rich and powerful. I climbed into the car and looked at Jungkook's window. I saw Jungkook staring at me. My heart sped up as we continued to stare at each other. But he looked away and then closed the window. For some reason, I missed Jungkook. Hello, dear, Jungkook's mom exclaimed, hugging me. I hugged her back awkwardly. Just a few minutes ago, she was almost threatening me to go to lunch, and now she's hugging me. But I went along with it. So, you said you want to marry Suho instead of Jungkook. Why, dear? Yes, and because Jungkook is quite not my type. He tried to do it with me the second I walked through the door. And since I deny him or something, he goes off and brings all sorts of girls to home. It's really quite degrading. She looked at me thoughtfully, obviously thinking. Okay, what? You can marry Suho as you wish, and you can live with him. You will marry him the same time you are arranged to marry Jungkook, and everything will go as planned. Oh, thank you, Mom. I swear I will be the best wife ever. She smiled and told me goodbye. I couldn't wait to get home and start packing. Then I remembered Jungkook. Why did I ever like him? I thought about it as I drove. Flashback. I leaned against the locker. Amber chatting erratically about her new boyfriend. Suddenly, as the doors opened, I saw Jungkook walking along with his girlfriend Katrina. My blood boiled at the sight of her. Katrina was Jungkook's girlfriend. She's blonde, skinny, tan, but so dumb. God, he probably likes Katrina because she agrees to do things with him. Either that or the hottest guy and the prettiest girl is destined to be together. As I dumbly stared at Jungkook, his eyes caught mine and he flashed me a smile. I melted and almost fell over if Amber hadn't caught me. Damn girl, watch it. Okay. I made a face and playfully punched her. We both giggled and got into a mini punching fight. End of flashback. I blushed at the memories. I was in total love with Jungkook since the moment I laid eyes on him. Was it his charm, his looks, how popular he was? I still don't know why. There is something special about Jungkook. And I remember that night. How excited was I? Then he left, leaving me to my own devices. I began to sob, pulling over into a McDonald's parking lot and cried my tears out. Ryan's point of view. I had made my decision and headed home. As I pulled up, Both Jungkook and Suho raced outside, watching me as I slowly got out of the car. Baby, I don't want to pressure you, but I love you. Please choose me. Frankly, Ryan, I love you. I never realized until now, and I'm probably gonna lose you too. You make the decision of what makes you happy, okay? I stared at Jungkook. What heartfelt words. I both gave them smiles and sighed, looking back at the clear blue sky. I found a cloud that looked like a bunny. Okay, I have made my decision, okay? I choose Jungkook. I breathed out. Suho gaped at me, and Jungkook stared, just as shocked. But then he reacted, hugging and kissing me. Suddenly, Suho kicked Jungkook's car and stormed off. I smiled at Jungkook. He's the right choice, I know it. Sure, Jungkook did hurt me before, but now he's changed. He loves me, and I could never love anyone more than him. It's been 5 years since my decision. Jungkook and I got married and lived happily ever after, kind of like a fairy tale. But I have one thing to clear up. I sat at the table, pulling out a piece of paper and a pen. What are you doing? Jungkook asked, smiling at me. Just clearing something up. Now, shoo. I slapped his head playfully and began to write. I need to clear this up. I just left Suho hanging like that. Dear Suho, I know it's been 5 years since we have talked. It's been a long time. Yes, Jungkook and I got married. We are happy. And I still think I made the right decision. But I don't want to leave you hanging like that. I want you to know, yes, I did love you. Very much actually. It's just that Jungkook meant more to me. And I'm so sorry for feeling that way. I hope you are happy. You may be married, maybe single, depressed, hopefully not. I still love you very much. You don't have to respond to this. And goodbye, Peter. Thank you for the memories. I sealed the letter up and put it in the mail. Jungkook came up behind me, wrapping his arms around me and kissing my neck. I love you, Ryan. I love you too, Jungkook. And then, finally we lived happily ever after. Well, this is the end of today's video. New video will be soon uploaded. Thank you for watching. Bye.